Video games have provided some of the most unique and interesting ways of telling a story. When you play a game, the experience is way more personal compared to movies and shows. However, there comes a problem when trying to balance between the fun and compelling gameplay, which is probably the only reason why I bought the game, and the dramatic story that the game may want to tell. Stories in video games are often just there to add purpose to the gameplay, and a large majority of games don't really put too much of an effort into stories because the vast majority of people don't really care and just want to shoot people in the face. For me at least, a good story can make a game way more enjoyable and more memorable to play. I have to admit, I played a lot of games based on it looked cool, and I've just been blown away at just how good the story was. Titanfall 2 is a fantastic example where I bought a game because it had giant robots in it, and I was completely amazed to find out it had a fantastic single player campaign in there as well. The story was simple and wasn't too complicated to follow, but goddamn, I had such a good time, and that wasn't because I only enjoyed the gameplay. Everyone is different, and because of that, some people prefer to have games that have a large focus on the story, and some people are just glad that they can skip the cutscenes. There are a lot of factors involved when it comes to creating spectacular stories, but in this video, I want to talk about games that mainly focus on storytelling. Something that I hear often about video games is that the gameplay is great, the music is fantastic, and the graphics are amazing, but the story sucks. When there's too much focus on the story, it can make the gameplay very boring, and when there's too much focus on the gameplay, it can make the story really stupid. One of the biggest problems with storytelling in video games is the pacing. And what I mean by that is that most video games put the gameplay first, and the story is just kind of left out and forgotten, especially in RPGs. Most RPGs have stories that go on for way too long, and sometimes it can even get boring. And from a gameplay standpoint, yeah, that's all well and good, but what it does to the story is prolong it. It puts aside the impending urgency of completing your quests because you have to grind for the best gear and weapons to continue the story, which can break the immersion. Instead of focusing on the gameplay, what if the game is all about the story and the gameplay is used as a means of exploring the story and not the other way around? Games that focus on the story can be such a fantastic experience because, unlike most games where the story gives a reason for the gameplay, these games have a story that is supported by the gameplay. One great example of a game that keeps you invested and tells a story through its beautiful and interesting gameplay is Journey. Journey is a game that has no dialogue or text, and instead, the story is told entirely throughout the gameplay with few vague cutscenes. All you really know is that you're supposed to reach the top of this mountain. This game can tell a story just through what you play, and I honestly think that's amazing. And after finishing the game, I was like, wow, what an experience. For those who haven't played Journey, I highly recommend you go check it out. So, how do you make a game with good storytelling? Well, I don't know. People have been arguing about this since forever, and I won't be the one to settle this debate. However, one thing that you should consider is that good storytelling within video games can make the experience of playing through the game so much more enjoyable, memorable, and even emotional. So next time when you play a game with an incredible story, appreciate it. In my opinion, video games have the potential to even be more impactful than watching movies or TV shows because you get to decide and experience how the story ends. So, anyway, thank you for watching.